Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a fintech company called Zaggle that just posted some seriously impressive first quarter numbers. But this isn't just about the numbers themselves, it's about how they're tackling a massive problem for pretty much every business out there. So let's break down what they do and why their recent success is making everyone take notice.
Let's start with a question that keeps pretty much every business owner awake at night, whether you're running a small cafe or a huge corporation. Where is our money actually going? It seems like such a simple question, right? But honestly, getting that answer wrong can be the difference between success and failure.
And that's exactly where a company like Zaggle steps in. The best way to think of them is like a financial GPS for all of a company's spending. They give businesses the map, the real-time data, and all the tools they need to track every single dollar. It's not just about seeing where the money went, it's about figuring out how to spend it smarter.
So what is Zaggle, really? Let's take a quick look under the hood at this whole world of spend management to get a better handle on their core business.
At its core, Zaggle is what's called a SaaS, or software as a service company, in the fintech space. What that means in plain English is they offer this subscription platform with a whole suite of digital tools. We're talking apps, corporate cards, and these really smart dashboards that give a company total visibility and, more importantly, total control over where their money goes.
And their platform is designed to be a one-stop shop. They're not just tracking one little thing, no. They help businesses manage everything, from what employees are spending on travel, to paying vendor bills, to running customer loyalty programs, and even keeping tabs on fuel costs for their company cars. The whole goal is to have one single place to see everything.
Okay, now for the main event. Let's dig into their first quarter results for the 2026 fiscal year, because this is where we see how that business model is actually performing in the real world. And wow, the results for this quarter really do tell a powerful story. So let's just rip through the three big numbers that really jump off the page. First up, revenue. That's the total amount of money coming in the door. It grew by over 31% compared to the same time last year. That is a huge sign that more and more customers are signing up and using their platform.
But get this next number is even more impressive. Their net profit, the money they actually get to keep after paying all the bills, shot up by almost 55%. Now, whenever you see profit growing way faster than revenue, that is a fantastic sign of a really efficient and well-run company. And finally, cash profit. This is the actual physical cash the business is generating. That jumped by nearly 58%. You know the saying, cash is king, right? Well, this kind of cash flow is what lets a company invest in its future, and it signals just fantastic financial health.
So let's just put this all together for a second. You can see the growth story laid out right here. Revenue crossed 3.3 billion rupees, but the big takeaway for me is just how strong and consistent that growth is across every single metric, from their core profitability or EBITDA all the way down to that impressive net profit.
Okay, so that brings up a pretty obvious question. Where is all this money coming from? Let's take a look at their money map to see how they build their revenue.
Zaggle is smart because they don't put all their eggs in one basket. Their income is built on four main pillars. You've got the subscription fees for the software, program fees they get from card transactions, commissions from merchants, and then extra charges for value-added services. That kind of diversification is a huge part of their stability.
And what really powers this whole thing is something called the network effect. It's a simple idea. The more businesses that use Zaggle, the more attractive it is for banks and merchants to partner with them. It creates this amazing, self-reinforcing cycle of growth where everybody wins. Now let's talk about the engine behind those numbers. What is actually fueling all of this success? Well, it really boils down to two things: getting more customers and making smart partnerships.
First off, more companies are signing on the dotted line. Their customer base grew by 14% in just 1 year. You can see it went from just over 3,100 to now well over 3,500 customers. That's a really solid sign that the market wants what they're selling.
And it's not just the number of customers, it's the quality. They are bringing on some huge names here. Truecaller, Tata Capital, Apollo Health. I mean, when you start landing big, well-known clients like these, it sends a powerful signal to the entire market that you're a trusted, credible player.
And beyond just getting new customers, these strategic partnerships are a massive growth driver. For example, their deal with MasterCard for foreign exchange cards and another one with mesh payments. These alliances make handling international business so much easier for their clients, and in turn, they massively expand Zaggle's own global footprint. All of this really sets the stage for what's coming next. So, where are they headed?
Well, it looks like Zaggle is focused on building an even bigger, more integrated platform.
A big part of that strategy is growing by acquiring other companies. They just bought tax spanners so they can bake tax filing solutions right into their employee benefits package. And they also invested in a company called Mobileware to integrate what's called embedded payment tech, which just makes the whole platform feel even smoother for users.
So based on all this momentum, the company has set some pretty ambitious goals for the rest of the year. They're shooting for 35 to 40% revenue growth. But just as important, they're planning to do it while keeping a really healthy profit margin of 10 to 11%. That's a promise of not just growth, but profitable growth.
And, these aren't just numbers they're pulling out of a hat. When a company's leadership sets goals this high, it signals a deep, deep confidence in their strategy and their team's ability to actually pull it off.
So, to wrap it all up, what are the 5 key things to remember here? First, Zaggle had an amazing start to the year. Revenue and profit just soared. Second, that success is built on a really stable model with multiple ways of making money. Third, they offer a complete end-to-end solution for spend control. Fourth, their growth is being fueled by landing big-name customers and making smart partnerships. And finally, the outlook is incredibly positive, with the company aiming for some really ambitious growth this year. So, Zaggle's game plan is crystal clear, and its Q1 performance really speaks for itself. The real question now is, can they keep this momentum going and navigate a tough competitive market to actually hit those big targets they've set? It's definitely going to be a fascinating company to watch. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.